Hello, boys and girls. Well, we've been trying this. I've been trying this all night. It's now 5:30 in the morning, and I just didn't have the strength to do it last night, both physically and emotionally. So this time it's Jim Voss, high above the garage, 8 or 10 feet. We're going to get through it this time. I don't know how you feel about where we are as a nation right now, but I am beyond worried. I feel like that half of the nation has got some common sense, and the other half has just lost its mind. We look at how things are right now in the government. We elect people to go to the Congress to responsibly be the fiduciaries of our tax dollars and to look out for our well-being. And right now, that's just not happening. The Democrats hate Trump so much, and Crying Chuck is willing, as their leader, to allow the entire nation to collapse with financial troubles, with job troubles, with logistical problems, with everything under the sun that affects us each and every day of our lives. And they're willing to allow the entire government to fail just to make Trump look bad. And when they find something that they think is going to make Trump look bad, they just beat that dead horse all day and all night. I see you ever watch the beautiful fireworks at Christmas time and July the 4th and at New Year's? It goes up and it's got this single trajectory straight up, and then all of a sudden everything goes off inside and it goes into a million different directions. And we think it's beautiful. But if you compare that to the pathway of the Democrat Party, it really aligns itself to be, it seems to be going in every direction at one time. It's being pulled apart by every different kind of ideology and every different kind of mindset and people who have their own agenda. But this is all encapsulated into the democratic process, and then they tell these people that have been elected to represent the constituents in their districts that you are part of this Democrat Party and you will vote this way, or we will push you out onto the ice floe and let your ass freeze to death. You will get no special committee assignments. You will get no assistance in raising money for your reelection. You will just be the orphan child pushed out. And therefore, they lock arms like the protesters used to do and the sit-ins, and they just will not move on their own. If the crowd moves now, they'll get up and move to another place. And that's the way they're thinking. Right now, we have essential personnel that are not getting paid. Duty, loyalty, and those kinds of things. You can't write a check at the Winn-Dixie and sign it loyalty and get your groceries. They want money in the bank. You can't go to your landlord and say, well, the government has screwed up and now I'm not getting paid, but I'm working. Will you hold my rent for the next month or 2 months? And when he calls his corporate headquarters, they go, "Oh no, we run on a month-to-month basis. We're not the bank. We don't make loans." Right now, if you consider the tentacles that come from this, I call it a strike, that reach out, this government inability to function and run on its own, the airlines, are you ready, are losing $1 billion, would it be $1 billion a day. All the attachments to the airline industry, restaurants, hotels, that kind of things, are losing $500 million a day. A day. Tell that to your investors. Tell that to the stockholders. But no one wants to take blame for the lack of leadership. They will point fingers like crazy to the other side, always to the other side. And then they have to rely on their cohorts and companion in crime, the media. And then they've got to sell it to us, the ignorant voter. And I do mean the ignorant voter. I answer people all day long on social sites who wish to cast dispersions against the president, against this person, that person, or just the system in general. And they never, ever step in there and grab them a book, grab them a data sheet, grab them something to give any validity to their opinion. They want to blame this on Trump. Let's start with the SNAP. Okay, SNAP benefits. Trump is starving the babies. I love it. The Democrats have got their little bullshit machine all cranked up. Trump is starving single mothers and their little babies. Okay. We have been under the process ever since Trump was elected of paring down every entity within the government and taking people off of the doling rolls who are not eligible to receive those benefits. Now, if you're dead, it only stands to reason that your check every month from Social Security is supposed to stop. Well, the Death Bureau and the Social Security Bureau are almost next door to each other, but they don't talk. And I don't think the computers talk back and forth, because for years a person could be dead and their family is still getting all of those checks and they're cashing them. It's the same way with SNAP. Do you realize that $126,000 people were found just last month who are receiving SNAP benefits, and they're either dead or not eligible for SNAP benefits alone? So this comes off to the tune of, let's just say, $1 million a month. Or that's a very conservative. But we've been paying this out for people who are not eligible to get the benefits to get the benefits. Any company that did this would be praised. Any company that said, look, we have reduced our budget expenditure by 10% because we found people to be drawing certain benefits and this, that, and the other, and they weren't authorized to get it. So what we've done is we've taken them off of the dole, and we're saving this money. What was it, 2 months ago they found $150 billion? That's a lot of cash stacked up. That's enough for a gazillion pizzas and beer. And the ignorant voter will stand up and say, yes, we don't like Trump, so we're going to put a blister on his ass in the public view. He's starving the babies. They're hungry. They're crying. Their little stomachs are swollen, and they have to go to bed hungry. And some of them are not waking up because they're dying. This bullshit. It's bullshit. But the way the media spins it, it's all the Republicans' fault. Who made it easy to get SNAP benefits? Who made it easy to get by the review boards? Who made it easy for the rubber stamp to say, sure, you can get these benefits. You don't have to show your proof of citizenship, or you don't have to prove your liability or your need. Just apply. Who made it easy? It's some congressman, some senator said, just like we got to have an ID to vote. Well, no, that's not fair for poor black people. Poor black people write checks. Poor black people cash their check. Poor black people have anything to do in the banking industry where you're not going to get a dime until I see your ID, but we'll let you vote. Yeah, we're going to allow you to skip the standards when you're going to decide who goes to Washington and represents this entire district. But that's not important. Okay? What's important is that you can just go to the polls and vote often. Go from one precinct to another precinct and continue to vote as long as you have any kind of fake ID that they're asking for. %70 of the females voted for our socialist / communist, I can't say his damn name, candidate that ran in New York for the mayor's position. 70%. Young American females, 70% voted for him. I could do a whole podcast on why, and it would make sense to you. But most of our problems are not the fault of somebody else. Our problems are because what we have neglected to do, what we have neglected to keep an eye on, what we have set on the back burner so we can take care of something else, and we didn't watch that pot, and now that pot is boiling over. Do you know why 70% of the females voted for this communist? Because we, just 20 years ago, were allowing women to work in the workplace and do an identical job that a man was doing, but we paid them less. They had a more narrow pathway and a glass ceiling to promotions if it was considered that it was a man's job. 20 years ago, there were very, very, very few females within the managerial systems that run our country. Why? Because we were prejudiced against the females. They had to struggle to get the right to vote. Oh, we love them in the kitchen. We love them in the bedroom. But now there's certain things that I don't think that you should do. That's why I just use Secretary of Defense. I like him. He says there's no more favoritism. If you want to be in the military, then you will have one standard to perform. And if you cannot accomplish that standard, wherever they set the bar, you're not going to be in the military. No longer will you get additional time for sit-ups or push-ups or the run. It's all going to be one standard. I love it. I love it. I love it. I have never believed, and I was a commander in a war zone, I have never believed that women had a place on a frontline unit. I just don't. I'm sorry. Not because of their inability to do the job, but because of the relationship that forms between a natural man and a natural woman that wears a uniform. They become fond of each other, and all of a sudden, this soldier is not doing his duty. He wants to make sure she's safe, and he's going to neglect his obligation to the mission and to the downrange firing and his limiting stakes because his new girlfriend is catching fire from the enemy. So he'll change things around so he can fire back. And all of a sudden, you've got a hole in your security. Your perimeter has got a weak spot. No. Trust me, I took a lot of females to the desert. Whew. What do we got? 16 minutes. Okay. This is my personal opinion, and every one of the 200 podcasts I've done before this are based on the same thing. Personal opinion. In the military, you see the commander, you get your marching orders, and you move out smartly. That's called the mission. Excuse me just a minute, I'm thirsty here. We all have a mission in life. It may vary from one mission to another, to another, to another, but when we set out the front door, back door, garage door, whichever way you go out, we have a mission for that moment. Our job is to accomplish that mission for that moment. I'm going to go out the back door, I'm going to get in my car, and I'm going to buy groceries. But the groceries don't get bought because I found a car I wanted to look at. Potentially buy. I saw an old friend and we got to talking, and the next thing I know it was time to get back home, and I hadn't bought the groceries yet. I failed my mission because we don't pay attention to what our mission is on that journey. Now, you can accomplish a few things along the way, but the mission is why you left the house to start with. I believe that senators and the people in the House have so much distractions along the way to the mission. When they finally get to the mission, they're tired, they're wore out, they got too much bullshit ideas in their mind, they got illogical facts, they've got data that's secondhand. It's not important anymore, it's not pertinent to the situation, it's not going to help the mission get accomplished, and therefore we'll do a half-assed job on accomplishing that mission. And that's what we have to deal with each and every day. And sometimes our mission is not one of good. The Democrats right now are pushing a mission which is really absurd, dark, evil. They are willing to allow the entire nation to fall on its knees and to be chopped off like a bad chopped block simply because they want to put a blister on Donald Trump's ass. They're willing to allow people to go hungry. They're willing to allow people to be evicted from their homes. They're willing to allow people to lose their automobiles because they can't make the payments. Why? It's their mission to make Donald Trump look bad. Let's use any kind of lie, innuendo, half-truth, or bullshit just to hurt Donald Trump and his presidency and his administration and anybody who works for him. They are all out to make him look bad. What is your mission in life? Is it to be successful? Is it to be to get a master's degree, or to be head of a corporation, or be the CEO or the financial manager? What is your mission in life? Is it to make it better than it was yesterday for your fellow man? Is it to do something for the greater good? Is it get more sleep, be healthier, run, work out, eat right, be more kind, more receptive to your mate, be more strict with your kids, be less strict with your kids? There's got to be a mission almost every hour of what you're doing. Right now, my mission would be to go to bed and go to sleep. But this stuff bothers me. It bothers me all day and night. And here's the problem. One of the major problems I see it. We don't have an importance assigned to that mission. Mañana. If I don't get it done today, I'll try and get it done tomorrow. And many times the mission gets pushed so far down the road. We've kicked that can so many times, the mission becomes totally unimportant. A person gets elected to an office, and I remember Strom Thurmond telling me serving the people was not primary job number one, as Ford says. Getting reelected started the day you got elected. And so the mission of serving the people actually came second, sometimes third, and even lower than that. What is your goal in life? I always wanted to be three things. I wanted to be a cop, I wanted to be a dad, and I didn't really want to be a politician, but I ended up getting stuck in that. But I don't have a bucket list. Have my ideas and goals been achieved with great success? No. I was a fair commander. I guess I was a fair cop too. But those were the things in life that I loved. So I succeeded in my mission there. Being a dad was tough. 6 kids, both biological and non-biological. And now I've got 2 grandchildren to raise at 77. What is my mission? Enough strength to get them through high school. Then they're on their own. What have you neglected in your life that was your original mission? Was it to be financially sound when you got to be a certain age? Did you fail by not putting enough money away in savings? Or did you buy some things on impulse instead of need over want? I don't know what your goals are, but I'm telling you, that's what's wrong with our nation. We can't get to the mission because we're so easily distracted by all the superfluous bullshit that hits us each and every day from both sides. We must become more resolute in understanding what the mission is to start with and how we're going to get there. How many times did you set out on the mission without being logistically sound? Didn't have transportation, didn't have the right paperwork set up, forgot it, left it at home, blah, blah, blah. And you get to the wonderful DMV and they say, oh, you got to have this and this and this. We sent you a letter and said, bring this. Well, yeah, it's on the coffee table at home. I'm sorry. I forgot it. You see, if we get back to accomplishing our mission for that day or that moment, this would be a lot better and easier place to live. One of the hardest things is to come out of the military where everything is programmed, snap, crackle, snap, crackle, pop. Okay? A place for everything, a thing for every place. That's the military. That's the way it is. It fit my Virgo personality just right. But we lose track of that. We don't have a mission anymore. We're just floating down the river, man. We're just pick a trail and hike it instead of staying on the main one. I'm going to get on that big old snow dune and I'm going to slalom down and watch the snow come in behind my ass and overtake me. No one ever plans his mission to fail. Many times there will be failure before you can accomplish the mission. If that doesn't happen, the mission wasn't that important. Get up, dust yourself off, focus on the mission, drive on. You want to just delve for a moment into how bizarre the Democrats have become. And I may have even covered this earlier in this podcast, but I'm half asleep. The leader now for 2028 to be the Democratic nominee for President of the United States is AOC. The former bartender. I'm sure she garnered a lot of foreign policy and political wisdom and how to work across the aisle when she was serving drinks at the bar. Yeah. They don't have anyone to get around. And you see, that's the draw this communist has. He's doing the same thing that Hitler did. He picked a topic. He picks subjects that is a sticking point, a sore point with voters. The reason those women voted for him in great numbers was because he promised them equality in the workplace. You see, whose fault is that? The male ego, the I've been here longer than dirt problem. You're just a female problem. We're not really prejudiced, but that's a man's job problem. You see? We screw up and we create a problem and then we try to throw more dirt and sand on it so no one will know the problem's there. It's like the elephant in the room, you know? It's here. Richard Nixon said that's benign neglect. That was his topic. I know I have a problem. I'm just not going to pay attention to it until I smell the peanuts on the elephant's breath. I don't know who's been the most discriminated against, minorities or females. I would say females. A lot more females than are minorities. We bring these difficult situations on ourselves. And we've got to learn that a person's work, regardless of their race, creed, or color, is just as valuable as this guy over here. The left and the right are doing the same jobs. It doesn't make a difference what sex they are, what height they are, how much they weigh, what religion they have, what politics they have. It doesn't make any difference if they're accomplishing the mission. I promised you some comedy, so I'm going to give you a little tiny bit since I've been chewing your ass about everything else. I really like these. And these are difficult to do because I put them in this cellophane protector, and I will show you a few of these. I like it. This is fun putting this together. This is a parody about one thing being compared to another. I gotta make sure I can get this up here for the camera so it doesn't shine, okay? This is Ronald Reagan. He was known as the great communicator. This is Bill Clinton. He was known as the great fornicator. I like it. That's good. He gets better. This is one of the old penal colonies. This is a San Francisco penal colony. This is one of my favorites. This is a picture of a dyke who retains water. This is a picture of a dyke that retains water. You got to have a perverted mind. That's all. I should have been a Democrat. Or if I wanted everything, I should be an illegal alien here. That's an oxymoron. Illegal alien. Both of them don't belong here. I thought that Trump was, and I'm not trying to be sacrilegious here, I thought Trump was our savior. And to a great extent he has been. But there are some evil people in this world. In the military, we call them shit stirrers. Because if you're burning that DF2 on that human waste, you gotta stir the shit so that it burns properly and burns off completely. And that's their job. That's what Adam Schiff does. He's a shit stirrer. So is Nancy. Nancy Pelosi is retiring. Oh my God. She only made $360 million over her career from the insider trading and all the other benefits and the finger pointing of this is the way you should go in life. And let's see, $360 million profit over that amount. That's a pretty good percentage rate. I would consider that's about how many people she screwed along the way or stepped on their backs to get where she is today. Oh, by the way, Walsh, he's polling at 0.6%. AOC, can you imagine that as a commander? The commander-in-chief of the most powerful and the richest nation on the face of the earth. We'll come bomb your neighborhood if we don't like you. The negotiator, the person that's going to keep us out of war in nations where we have no business going to war, is a professional bartender. She can't tell you whether Africa is a nation or a continent or a piece of real estate, but she can tell you what straight up Blonde, and Star Sharp is in mixing a drink. And neat. But as far as where the Amon Desert is, she said she'll just look it up. God help us. That's about it. I'm going to bed. Jim Voss high above my garage, asking you to pick a mission and to stick to it until it's completed. Then you got fun time, play time, till you find another mission. Take pride in what you do. Take pride in how you work. Take pride in accomplishing the mission. Don't let anyone ever tell you no. I love you. I love my cops. I love my vets. I love my first responders. All those people that lay their lives on the line every day for the 5 lowest paid jobs in the universe. And yet they do it because they love it, not because there's a lot of money in it. I love all those people, and as always, I especially love the blonde in the third row with the arthritic hands. Take care. I hope this made some sense. I am very sleepy, and I am going to bed right now. And maybe, since I've got this off my chest, maybe, just maybe, it's going to work out. Take care of yourself, and I'll try and do more podcasts in the future, I promise. Let me find my little button, go up here and say, peace. I'm out of here.